Down in the Den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Mars, and joining me today is co-founder of Rooftop Tates LLC, as well as Champagne Steve Events LLC, producer, promoter extraordinaire, Champagne Steve Toth. Welcome to the Den. How are you doing today, brother?
What's up, guys? How y'all?
Oh, fantastically well. I'm super excited to talk to you. We're both obviously music lovers, so music lover to music lover, I think we're going to have a little fun.
Absolutely, man.
So one of the things that's tradition, besides being a huge music lover, one of the biggest passions in my life is all things comic book culture. And one thing that all comic book characters have in common is an incredible origin story. So we've kind of adapted that here in the Den. So Steve, I'm going to ask you, what is your origin story? How did you go from regular Steve to Champagne Steve? How'd you get there?
Gosh, man, that's a really long and complex story, but like I think the first time I ever really knew that I wanted to do like production and work with artists, I was like 16, just drinking with some friends at a Christmas party, like right around this time. We were all back home, and this kid walks in with his crew, and a bunch of white kids, just hanging out. So it's like, 4 or 5 black kids roll in, and they're looking super swaggy, and they're hanging out, and they're like kind of trying to push whatever thing they had next, their new label, their new song, whatever. And like everybody was kind of just nodding them off, like, hey, whatever. Like everybody's trying to be a rapper, everybody and their mother, right? So this kid by the name of Iceman Chamberlain came through, and he's like, hey, like, I'm gonna put this on, like, tell me what you think. And I was like, yeah, man, like, let's check it out. And it blew me away. I mean, just the fact that he would just walk around with this. So I picked him up, and we started doing some house shows and other stuff. And that's kind of how it all started. And it went from like a little bit of hip hop, and then I did some rock and roll bands in Fort Worth. And now I'm out here in Austin. And I mean, I've worked with guys as big as Nelly through one of my other my buddy's events company. Shout out Brian Lee for showing me all about this business, and he's a big guy doing big things out in Fort Worth, and I was lucky to be friends with him in college and help him out with stuff there. So yeah, man, I mean, like, it's been a long time coming, essentially, like, so ever since I was 16, even the show right now that I'm promoting for Mickey Avalon coming December 11th, he's somebody that like I listened to back then, and I was like, I have to bring this guy out for everybody like me who like has never gotten the chance to go to LA and see him. So it's all about the love, man. Like, the money comes secondary for me. So that's the origin as far as I'd like to take it. There's a lot in there between, but it's been a long time coming, man. So I'm happy and proud to be where I'm at right now, and just very grateful, honestly.
That's awesome, and we're proud of you. Like I said, every artist, I always research every artist, every creative that we have in here, and I saw the photos on your IG with Nelly and Mickey Avalon, the show coming on the 11th, for some of the other extraordinary artists that you've had. So it's awesome, man. That is a fantastic story. And I love when I hear people find their passion early on in life. So that's super cool. We always talk about the 3 Ps: purpose, passion, and a plan. So find your purpose, be passionate about it, make a plan, and you'll always be successful. Now,
I mean, especially for the young kids out there, man, like, I can't tell you how many bands, rappers, people I've dealt with that, you try and try again and fail. I mean, like, back then we didn't have a plan at all. Sometimes you just got to jump in with both feet, man. That's, if you're telling the youth and stuff like that, it's like, I mean, I'm 32 now. I mean, so it's literally been 16 years of trial and error failure. So just don't give up, man. That's just keep it going, especially all these young rappers and all these young hip hop guys. 'Cause I mean, like, that's just a swarm right now. So if you can make it through the first couple of years, dude, you're ahead of 99% of the people who went there,
Absolutely. Finding yourself through the industry and navigating definitely could be difficult, but having people like yourself is definitely going to be helpful for these young artists out here. Now, you mentioned you're in one of my favorite cities. We've got a lot of den mates from Austin, and the Austin music scene is really blasting off right now, multi-genre, by the way. And your
Hell yeah.
company is right in the forefront of that scene. How's it been watching the area grow right in front of your eyes?
I mean, honestly, man, even since we just started the production company, it's blown up into this whole other thing. I mean, like, we had artists such as like Mama Duke on, who, like, she had just started getting like a couple, like she had like one or two sponsors, maybe like a Juice Land thing or something small. We had her on and I was like, she's gonna be big. She's got all this, promo work, and she's just putting in this like insane amount of time into her work. And now she's like getting flown out to France and on her own. She's created a record label that she signed like other artists that we've actually had on Rooftop Takes. Like, she's been like seeing them and been like, oh yeah, like we want them on our label. So it's like, it's been really cool to see, almost half the artists put out an album. One of the artists, Gina Chavez, we're going to release. She got nominated for a Latin Grammy last year, closed out the BMI stage for ACL. So it's like, it's one of those things where like when you see it and you're like, this person's awesome. And then 2 months later, they're like on the front page of the Chronicle. Like it's wild, it's unbelievable. So really, again, man, just grateful and just happy that we can help people in any way that we can, and make their dreams come true and get them in front of the audience and the people they want to get in front of.
Brother, we are in line. We think exactly the same way. My dream is helping other people get their dreams out and putting it out there, and you're doing the same thing. And like I always say, that's God's plan. So I appreciate you out there helping these young creatives. Now, I love your Rooftop performance series on YouTube. Tell me a little bit about how that series came about, because the number one, I just want to salute on the production value. Production value is top notch, but you really do have some incredible, diverse artists. Tell me a little bit about the origin of that series and how it came about.
Yeah, man. So I have two partners in this business, and we kind of form this like wild trifecta, like past, present, and future is kind of like what I like to call it. So like essentially, like, we're in line with that. So I'll book out. I do the research. I find the guys, and then we take it to the house, and we threw it through Preston Ashby, who is our director. He's our editor. He's our sound engineer. Without him, all those killer shots, those lighting, that color, all that fun stuff, it's just not possible. And then Raiden is kind of our outro guy. He takes all the artists, make sure they're happy on the end, make sure that they're happy during the set. And he also flies our drone, which none of us can do. So, I mean, we have 5 or 6 working cameras, all shooting in 4K. We've got the drone coming in. We have all these crazy shots. And it originally all started where Preston and Ray, who are in a band together called Big Skinny, and they have a release coming out this year, so it should be a lot of fun. They just wanted to shoot a music video, and we're like, hey, like, we've smoked cigars on your roof before. Like, why don't we just shoot it up there? And it came out so good that we were like, pandemic hit. We were like, we could make this for other people and like start like building connections for you guys, building connections for ourselves, just getting an excuse to meet people, so that's kind of how it all started. And it was crazy because like we used to just have like a little step ladder up to like the full roof. So like hauling equipment and stuff was like mad dangerous. And like we were just kind of going, like, now we have like a big commercial step ladder, and honestly, like, we have downtown locations and stuff now. Like, we just stopped using the old location 2 months ago. So like all the stuff you're going to see now is all crazy downtown views. And this is all just because, we put it in line and we showed people what we can do. And now they're like, wow, like, this is either cheap or no money for us to shoot this incredible video and have all, like, I mean, we have a built-in director, engineer, booker, everybody is all together. So it is again, it's a blessing, man, to like have two good partners who know really, I mean, like, ins and outs of what they're doing and can really put it together. But yeah, I mean, just started off on a whim, man, and just kept taking it in the right direction. And now we flew, our last artist was Joe Barron, and we like flew him in from Nashville, and he used to be a Texas guy, and now he's out in Nashville, like, doing big stuff. So the next one you'll see is on In Cahoots roof downtown East 6, and it's like, those views are savage. I mean, the tapes are just incredible right now. We're just starting to put that stuff together, and later on this week we're going to release Gina Chavez, who, like I mentioned, is a Latin Grammy nominee. So like, I mean, you'll just see some killer downtown views, and hopefully we can just make it look nice for everybody, and and just do the right things by them.
Accomplished. Everything so far has been stellar, and I'm very excited to see where you go from here because I really think
Thanks.
there's no limit to the no ceiling to the roof, if that makes any sense. That was a bad
That's the
example of a
idea.
joke. Hey, edit that joke out. We're gonna edit that joke out. All right. So for any up because promotion is something that is so important. Always we interview a lot of young, talented artists that have the ability, they have the look, they have the music, they have everything they need, but they're just missing that one factor, and that's promotion. What are some tips that you can give for young artists out there that have that skill set but are struggling to get in front of a larger audience? Do you have any tips that you can provide them?
Oh man. So I mean, there's a couple different routes you can go. I mean, targeting your specific audience through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Learning those programs, learning how like more of like actually how those programs work. The one that I've figured out mostly is Instagram. That's helped me out a lot. But like TikTok came along and kind of brushed a lot of that stuff aside. So I
Right.
would say your specific audience is massive. Playing the right shows with the right people, and then when you're working with other people, promoters, like I would definitely say like make sure that they have either the background or a lot of people just give somebody like a lump sum of money. And they're like, hey, just do the work. It's like you have to have everything lined up. You have to have the target market that you want for them. You have to make sure that again the shows are in an area and in a place and at a time where people are going to see you. But yeah, I mean, the other route is go Mama Duke on it. Where she posts like 50 times a day, like to her story, to her posts. Like, I mean, it's insane. She's coming across my feed every fifth one. Like, I mean, and that's just gonna put you in front of eyes. And she has no fear, like a lot of us do. Like, I mean, of just reaching out to anybody. Like, I
Right.
mean, you reach out to people, and you have the right flyer, the right booking, the right whatever. Like, they're gonna notice you no matter what. And like, just to keep repping that and finding the numbers and going out and networking. I mean, it's hours and hours and hours of your time. So all that time that you're going to sit down and watch, Yellowstone on HBO, like put that into your work, man. I mean, it was one of those things where this business is now one of my full priorities, and it's like I quit my jobs and not making as much money, and it's like there's heinous sacrifices you have to make to want this business. So if you're not willing to make that, or if you're not willing to get up and hustle and do that stuff, it's like you either need to find yourself somebody good in PR or find a new career. But yeah, I mean, I would just say like, don't be afraid to reach out to people and your friends and get people involved that, even if you're admiring them from a distance, it's like, go up and shake their hand, man. You'd be shocked at how many cool people are down to work with new artists. It's unbelievable. So I would say, yeah, go one way or the other. Really, really targeted, or hit everybody, man. There's no in between, really.
Absolutely, and that's that Mamba mentality. If it's your passion, like we always say, the three P's. One of those plans, you got to put your 10,000 hours in, and
Absolutely.
you're absolutely right. You would be shocked the responses you get from really just sliding in a DM and saying, "Hey, I'm an artist. I will be willing to do
Oh,
this." Sometimes you may have to do some work for free, but you get those eyes and exposure out there, and you can make it. That is
and
sound
several
advice.
artists and who just hit us up through DM that I would have never come across. And I was like, hell yeah, this is great, man. Like you have the views and you have the style and you have whatever we want. So, we're on, like that's totally a real thing, and then, you also have the other side where it's like, somebody's just asking you like, hey, like, how do I get on? It's like, you have one picture on Facebook, you have nothing on your SoundCloud, you got nothing, like you have no information, no thing there. It's like, you get these kids they're all about the hustle, but they have no craft behind them too.
Right.
So thing too is like you got to have product, even if it's a bad mixtape. Like you got to have a handful of songs. You got to have a handful of whatever is it that you're doing, and make sure that it's your best work possible.
Absolutely. That's fantastic information. So, den mates, little den mates, old den mates, any den mates, please listen. My man Champagne Steve has some sound advice, and obviously it's working. Now, you make it look easy. I'll be the first to admit, but we all know the entertainment industry is extremely difficult. It's I know some artists have compared it, especially in hip hop. This is way worse than the drug game. When I was out selling drugs, it was not nearly as hard as it is in the entertainment industry. What are some of the ups and downs that you've experienced in the field that may have shaken you, but obviously you're still standing?
Um, Honestly, man, like there's been some times where like artists or people or different people, different things will completely shake you to your core, being like, do I even want to do this? I can give you an example of a show that happened. So I was working out in Amarillo again for my boy Brian Lee, and I run his day of show out there for the Starlight Ranch. So we get everybody in there from George Strait all the way up into the Colby Keiths, all the big name country artists, and a lot of the little names too. We had this group. I hate to rat them out, but I have to. That they're Picos and the Rooftops, and they came through, and these guys are tripping acid. They're doing crazy shit. And 3/4 of the way through their show, 75-80% of their fans had left because the show was just so bad. It was just so, he was slurring his words and all that stuff. And the show's over, right? And he runs back out on stage, and we're cleaning up stuff, and he starts hunking like equipment at us and shit like that. I mean, like, and he's a big guy, he's javelin spearing the shit at that guys. And it really, like, it makes you think, like, if this guy's gonna act like this and he's like this big, imagine what somebody who's on this level, if Nelly started wilding out, it's like there's nothing you can do, man. Like they'll just get rid of you, So it is dealing with those kinds of situations and people. And it's like, I would tell everybody, in this business, like, dude, stay humble, talk to your mom, like, that kind of thing. Like, it's like, she's the one who's going to be able to tell you, like, hey, like, you're being crazy, listen to your family's opinion to a certain degree, listen to your close friends' opinion to a certain degree, because they're the only ones who are going to be able to tell you the truth when you're wilding out, when you're doing it big. I see a lot of yes men in the industry, a lot of tour managers and people who are kind of just like, they're just sweeping things under the rug to make sure that they're getting their money. And it's like, eventually that's going to really hurt your career. And you can start seeing some of these even mid-level rappers who just get that big chain, that big head, man. And it starts weighing them down like they're better than everybody else. So I would always just say, like, stay humble. And when these things shake you, like, take a good hard look at yourself. Don't let yourself be disrespected, and speak up, because there's an owner, there's somebody there who's going to recognize, like, hey, you know what, this guy's telling the truth. He's doing the right thing. So, yeah, I mean, there's a dozen or two situations like that. That's probably the most recent one that I was like, wow, like, I mean, we had 2 guys quit that day, that were on my crew. So it's tough, but, like, the real ones will stick around. That's the truth.
Absolutely. And that is extremely wise to make sure, as Kendrick Lamar says, stay humble.
Stay humble.
You want to stay humble, because the same people that you see going up are going to be the same people you see going down. And I remember an interview years ago. It may have been the last interview that the Notorious B.I.G. did. And he said he never wants to get into a place because of his name. He wants to get into a place because he's just a cool person. So even if the fame went away, they were like, oh, that's Chris, come on in. And that's an attitude that will make you last in this industry and beyond. So those are sound words.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
Now, Steve, we're on the first, when we're recording this is the first day of December, December 1st. So you mentioned Mickey Avalon on the 11th. What other exciting events that we have in store to close out this year, and what can we look forward to going into the big 2022?
So Mickey's my last big one for my personal company right now. Out at the Starlight Ranch in Amarillo, we're kicking off in March with Co-Wetzel. So that should be we're going to go really hard on that front with C events, really, really big country artists and stuff coming out there. For me right now, January and February, we're going to do some more in cahoot shoots. I can't mention their names right now because we're not under contract, but we have some pretty big country, hip hop, and rock and roll artists that are that are on the ballot right now that might come through. And then I have a corporate event that they're looking to do another big country name. So I can't say, I don't like to say anybody's name or throw anything out there until it's locked in contract wise. but yeah, I mean, you should see some fairly large artists, coming through from us. So I'm really excited about it, man. I mean, we buckled down this year, and now that the COVID is relatively over, whatever, I know the Omicron's coming out, the hypothalamus crazy, like there's all sorts of variants and stuff going to come out. Hopefully, we're all going to be still on the same page this upcoming year. But Rooftop's doing crazy things. We used to do anywhere from 6 to 8 tapings a month, and now we're going all the way back to 1 or 2 just to have those large branded artists out there right now. So you should see a lot of wild stuff coming from us, and C events and Champagne Steve events this next year. But I'm lining that up right now. My focus is Mickey at the moment. He's one of my favorite artists from high school, college, all the time. So I even have one of his close friends, Romy Arcona, who I met through a wedding. We just happened to, he happened to throw shows for him a while ago. So I was like, to make him comfortable, man, let's fly you in from Denver. Let's have you DJ the whole party. Let's get down. Let's make it, like a super fun event for everybody. So that's my focus now, but we got some big stuff coming up, man. Don't you worry. I'll be on here in 6 months and we can talk about it.
And I am excited. I know 2021 was a big year for you guys, but I predict 3 times as big as 22. We're not going to worry about the Megatron virus or whatever the hell the next variant is. We're all going to get shotted up. We're going to be masked up if we need to be, but we're going to enjoy our lives and we're not going to live in fear. So
Absolutely.
Steve, you're dope. You're super dope.
Oh, thanks, man. Bro.
I want to give you that Den mate stamp, but I can't just give it away. You got to earn it. So, are you ready to have a little fun?
Here's where we get embarrassed. All right, let's do it.
No, this one is easy. So, for those who are returning viewers, you always know we draw a random game, a game that we create. And by we, I mean me, your boy Mars. And you are going to be the first person to play the newest Denmate game. And this game is called If You Don't Know, Now You Know. So, what we're going to do is just ask you some simple but fun questions to let the rest of the Denmate audience kind of really get a peek inside of Champagne Steve. So, they're really fun, simple questions. And if you're ready, we can begin.
Let's do it, man. I'll be a guinea pig. Let's get it on.
All right. So the first question, the very first edition, if you don't know, now you know. Favorite cartoon?
Ooh, favorite cartoon. I'm a big Rick and Morty fan. Love the Rick from the man. I'd say Scooby Doo or Tom and Jerry. No idea. The Scooby Doo. I mean, you know what's coming every time.
Yeah.
Just
Mr. Johnson.
The episodes with the Harlem Globetrotters, that was always like blast, man. They're messing around with the basketball, tossing it between each other, just screwing around the whole time with ghosts. Like, I always loved that as a kid. Just thought it was freaking great.
Yes, I am a huge Scooby-Doo fan, and you're absolutely right. Every episode was the exact same, but the guest episodes, Adam West Batman, amazing.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And it's funny when you grow up, you realize that Scooby and Shag are definitely stoners. That's why they were hungry all the time. As a child, right over my head.
It's like you could really think at some point in time, it's like, were they looking for ghosts? Or were they just high?
Exactly. They dropped some acid like your guy, and then that's the ghost that they were finding. And you find out there was no one there the entire time. They never left the couch.
Never left the couch, man.
All right, round 2. Favorite cereal?
Favorite cereal, Cookie Crisp. I don't eat much anymore. I haven't probably had a glass of milk since I was 22 or so. But yeah, I mean, like every now and then we'll go to like what is that donut shop that has all the wild shit, and we'll get. I was like, yeah, that's the fix, man. Cookie Crisp and milk. I mean, you could do that all day. I mean, it's fantastic, man. It's literally cookies and cereal. I mean, what more can you want,
Nothing at all. I eat cereal for dinner. I consider myself the Black Seinfeld, and I eat cereal for dinner all the time. So absolutely. Now, this one might be difficult. Favorite song? What is that one song that's like, oh damn, that gets me?
I can tell you right now, man. I'm a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan. I like I love rock and roll. Lately, it's been lately it's been Desire by him. But off that same album, every time, man, I think it's one of the best songs that's ever been written ever, lyrically, emotionally, the guitar solo, drums. I mean, it's got all the 80s vibes, but just killer shit. And it's No More Tears. And that's when Zach Wild was on there, and he was really his first year. And what a lot of people don't know is that, like, you know, how Zach and Ozzy met, like, was Zach was his 18-year-old heroin dealer. So like, and then he was just like dicking around at his house one day playing guitar, and he was like, man, you're really fucking good. And then they just started putting him in studio sessions, and you know, I mean, I even have the real guy, you know. I mean, like, I'm a big fan, you know. So
We know that's legit. A lot of people stumble with that question. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. You have a song, you committed to it. I love that. Now, round 4, favorite movie. What's that movie you've watched 150 times? I could watch it 150 times again.
Goodfellas,
Mm,
Goodfellas. Um,
classic.
I mean, all I ever wanted to do when I grew up was be a gangster, man. Like, so just doing a better way than how he did it. But yeah, man, that's it, dude. I mean, I think it's Scorsese's best movie. Other people would say Mean Streets or even The Irishman or whatever, you know. But I think that's his. I think that's his opus, man. It's just got everything you want. It's got Pesci, De Niro, Loyola, just everybody coming in there and just playing the best parts they ever did, man. All the action, all the violence, all the heartbreak, you know, especially at the end, man. Like, it's like, it just goes to show you, you know, you're always gonna get caught up, you know. So it's do the right things, do it well, but you know, stay loyal to your friends. You know, that's my favorite. I think I've seen that movie 120 times, maybe more.
Definitely my favorite Scorsese flick, and definitely top 10 for me as well. You're absolutely right. It's rare where you see a perfect movie where there's not a plot hole or something that's just utterly ridiculous, but that is a top notch movie. And now, the final question. And if you don't know, now you know. Round 5. Favorite place to travel? What's your home away from home?
Man, well, honestly, my favorite home away from home is New York City. Um, Love it, man. I lived there for 3 months when I was working on an internship on Wall Street for a little while. Again, like, totally different life, totally different career, that kind of fun stuff. But I got to know some like little places that, like, luckily are still kind of around, because they're like establishments, and it's like wild to like see the same bartender, the same somebody, and they're like, oh hey, like, you know, remember you because you did that stupid thing 10 years ago or whatever. And it's incredible to just, you know, walk. That city is just life, man. Like, and I'm a night guy, so like, I mean, I stay up forever, so it was always my favorite thing to just be like, you know, there's something going on at 5 a.m. and you're just walking out there from the night before, and it's like, and it just breathes life into you. When I was out there, actually, what had just dropped was Man on the Moon 2, I think. And it's like, I'm originally from Cleveland, so like, it was just like such an exotic experience to like be walking on the George Washington Bridge with headphones in, listening to like that first run of it, and being like, he's talking about New York, he's talking about coming up in the city, and being from relatively the same place I was, and it's just like, it brings that level to you, man. So we try to get out of town and do some overseas traveling, but if I had to choose a place, just be like, hey, you're just gonna fly out real quick, you know, New York is the spot, man. It's so fun out there, man. You can't stay for too long. It's just like Vegas, though. You gotta get the hell out, because you'll be up for like
Oh,
6 days
yeah.
straight. What happened to all my money? You know, it's just like,
It's an expensive place, and it's good. As a country boy, I'm born and raised in Virginia, so I'm a down south boy, country boy. But my sister lived in New York for 20 plus years, so I would go every summer and visit her in New York and spend time in there. So going there as early as 17 and then going there in my 30s, it just blew me
yeah,
away, because where I'm from, at 2 a.m., the city is shut down, and you
uh,
go to New York at 2 a.m., it's just starting. It really never sleeps. So that's a great answer.
yeah, man. Love it. Love New York. It's a lot of fun.
Salute to my New Yorkers. Salute to the BX Bronx, absolutely, and Brooklyn, two of my favorite places to visit, absolutely, and great food. So, Steve, I feel like we know you very well. We know your story. We know what you have going on. We know your favorite cereal, which is always very important. It's been a blast learning about you. You get your official DenMate stamp, which will come down on the screen when we
Thank
edit this up. So you're affiliated, man. You're gang. You have access. We'll be promoting everything that you have out. When you post it, we're going to be posting it free of
you.
charge. Everything that you have going on. If we have any artists that you're interested in, we have a ton of DenMates that are fantastic artists. You have full access to it, and we're going to send you some awesome merch. I don't know how cold it gets in December, but in Texas, but here it gets pretty cold. So if you need a Down in the Den hoodie, we'll make sure we send that out to you and your team.
Dude, I appreciate it so much. I'm so grateful just to be on here, man. And you're doing an incredible thing for people. You know, it's really cool when you see somebody else who's just like, you know, it matters more about the art than the money. You know, so it's always good to see somebody else doing it big. And you know, anything we can do to help you guys out too, man. We'd love to have you down. And if you have any solid artist recs, like, you know, I'm always down to take questions and check them out, and just, you know, even if I'm just giving them a pat on the back, you know, if we can't have them on, like, I'd rather do that than nothing. So that's great, man. I really appreciate all the time, dude. It means a bunch.
Yes, sir. We'll chat offline. Like I said, we're when you're affiliated, when you're DenMate for life, and it's all about the art, the artistry, and getting that out there and showing support for people that are doing great things for other people. So we appreciate that. So you're stamped. You're in the gang. Let everyone know where they can find you, your social media, and any other things that you want to give. The floor is yours. And any shout outs you want to give to anyone, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna shout out my crew over here, Raiden Templey, Preston Ashby, my girlfriend Krista. You know, she's always been a big help to me. My dogs. I got 4 dogs. There's one actually underneath me right now. Hold on. She can say hi.
Let me see that pup. Let me see that pup.
This is
Oh, pug. Ah.
a big inspiration. You know, she's got the gold chain on. You know, so she's just having a good time, man. But yeah, shout out my mom and dad, especially my mom. She's always been cool. My brother Kevin, you know, they've put up with a lot of my shit over the years, so I always appreciate it, man. But shout out to you guys out there, man. I appreciate this again, man, so much. Shout out to all of our amazing artists who've come through, especially Joe Barron recently, who came in and flew in for us. We really appreciate that. And yeah, so you can find me we just put out the new website 2 days ago. So it's just champagnesteve.com. So champagne, just like the drink, Steve, STEVE.com. That's got all the new, current, and old shows on there. And then I have Instagram, it's champagne, but it's without I forget what it is. It's without the G or the N. Yeah. It's champagne without the G. So it's just champagne _Steve, and then I've got champagne.steve.events as well. That's kind of new, that's coming out. But the website's the easiest, man. It's just got the links on there. It's basically like a link tree. It's no frills. Literally just says like my name on it. Shows like you don't need to read anything else about me or figure everything else out. It's just like grab a ticket, man, come hang out. You know, anybody who mentions, let me do this too, man. Anybody who mentions your show or anything like that they saw on here, I'm happy to, you know, to hook them up with a free drink, a discount on tickets, you know, whatever, man. That's anything we get off that. So just have them drop your name at the door, man. That'll be legit.
That's love. We'll make sure we do that. And also, before we go, I just want to give huge compliments as a bearded man. The first guest that we've had that had a better beard than me. I gracefully, humbly bow down for the awesome beard. I love it. Beard gang for life. So I love that. We're going to put all your information probably here and here and here so everybody can check you out. We'll make sure that they shout out Down in the Den in Mars and come out and check you guys out. You're doing big things. I'm proud of you from a distance, and I am so happy and gracious to have you here. So I thank you so much, brother. As always, this is your boy Mars. It's my man, wrong side. It's my man Champagne Steve, opposite side of the screen. He has some fantastic things going on. Trust me, I've never steered you wrong. I'm batting 1,000 when I give you guys a recommendation, and I wholly endorse what they're doing out there. So please check them out. Support the artists that come out. Go there. Tell them Mars sent you and get yourself a shot on Steve. And
hell yeah,
as always,
I like really appreciate everybody else who's listening out there. don't give up, dude. Just keep pushing on. If you need any help, hit me up, hit Mars up. Like we're down to help, man. It's for real out here. So again, thank you guys so much for having me on. It means a bunch.
We appreciate you. And he's absolutely right. So as always, it's your boy Mars. And as we end every episode, peace, love, unity, respect. Deuces.
Later, guys.
So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.